Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with the September 2017 book club picks. This is recording number 5. I get like 2 books in and something happens that totally distracts me and messes me up. So here I am trying again. Alright, so how this works if you are new to my channel is that yes, I do run a book club. It's just a little book club. It's on Goodreads. I will leave a link in the description box below to the book club if you're interested in joining us. And every month I kind of leave it up to you guys to decide which book it is that we're going to read. But what I do is I give you guys a series of numbers to pick from, and I did this on Friday, and my Friday reads a couple days ago. And, you know, so I asked you guys to pick me books, and these numbers correspond to my TBR, so I'm going to tell you guys which books corresponded to which numbers were picked. Clear as mud, right? Anyway, let's jump right in and get started. So the very first number that was picked was number 330, and that corresponded to The Carriage House by Carla Neggers. I looked up how to say that. Every time I think I'm saying it wrong and I'm going to offend somebody, but I looked it up on YouTube in an interview, and that's how she said it. So, we're going with it. So this is the first book in the Carriage House series, and it is about a woman who inherits an old carriage house, essentially. And there's rumors circulating around town about, you know, the supernatural nature of this house, and she kind of brushes it off, and then I guess she's doing renovations and finds a skeleton in the cellar. And the story goes from there. So it sounds really creepy and interesting, and that is one that I would definitely be interested in. But, of course, as normal, you guys let me know in the comments below. The second number that was chosen was 345, and that corresponds to Bounty Hunter's Woman by Linda Turner. This is a silhouette romantic suspense novel, so obviously it's a romantic suspense novel. It is about a bounty hunter. I know, shocking, right? How did you know that? It is the first book in, I think, the Broken Arrow series, although it doesn't say that on Goodreads. I found that on Fiction Database. And it's about a bounty hunter, essentially, who is trying to rescue a woman from her abductors. So that sounds like an interesting story as well. The third number that was chosen, this number was actually picked twice, is 342, and that is The Sisters of Sugarcreek, and that's by Cathy, Liggett. This is one that I bought. I mean, all these are books I bought fairly recently because they are further up on my TBR. But this is about a group of women. This is a women's fiction novel. And it's about a group of women who, a devastating fire burns down their church. This is a Christian fiction novel, I should say, as well. And it's about how these women kind of come together to rebuild themselves and their community. So it sounds like a really great book, and I have to admit, the immediate purchase for me was the knitting on the cover. So, you know, this one would be really good too, I'm sure. The next book, the next number picked, was number 331, and that is Sleep with the Lights On by Maggie, Shayne. This one would be a reread for me, but I would love to reread this. It is available on audio. I did check that out on Audible. And yeah, this is a paranormal, psychological mystery thriller. There are some sexy times in it. Maggie Shayne does write some really great sexy times. But this story is about a woman who is blind. And I can't remember if she was blind from birth or whether she lost her sight like a little bit later in life, like in her childhood. I think it was in her childhood. Anyway, she ends up getting a cornea transplant that gets her eyesight back. And I don't want to reveal too much more of the plot from that, although she starts seeing things happening, like people being murdered and seeing where their bodies are and all these things. So this one was truly creepy, and as per the title, Sleep with the Lights On, I'm not kidding, this one creeped me out big time, but it was so good. Maggie Shayne is an amazing, amazing paranormal writer. She writes a lot typically of like vampire type books, but this is her more like, I almost want to say contemporary paranormal, because it's not, it doesn't involve necessarily scary beings, but it's like creepy things that happen. So yeah, absolutely, this one would be fantastic. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I missed what I was reading. The next one is book number, is number 328, and that corresponded to Her Montana Cowboy by Valerie, Hansen. Talk about totally switching gears. This is a love-inspired romance novel. It's another Christian fiction novel. It's about a woman who has been set to the task from her father, who's mayor, to do up the town for the town centennial. And I guess this cowboy comes in for the rodeo, and there's a romance there. It sounds like a very, very sweet novel, and it would be another great one, I'm sure. And the very last one is number 337, and that corresponds to a book called Missing Pieces by Heather Gudenkauf. I have read her before. I read The Weight of Silence, and I read, I think it was called Breath, or One Breath, or something like that, and it was about a school shooting. The Weight of Silence was about 2 little girls that go missing. She is an amazing, amazing author. This book is also available on audio. I checked that out too. This is one that I would totally be interested in reading, definitely. And it's funny, when I was looking at the information on Goodreads about which book, I noticed a lot of people that on my friends list had recently added this in as a to be read. But this one is about a man and a husband and wife, and the husband has a past that his mother passed away when he was young. And I guess it was in some sort of an accident. And now his aunt is very sick, and him and his wife, Jack and Sarah, I think are their names, they go to, back to his hometown or whatever, and I guess his wife starts digging up secrets and digging up stuff about what happened to his mother, and the truth starts coming out, and it's supposed to be a really good, it's a psychological thriller, I think it's a thriller. I don't know if it's psychological or not, but still. I think psychological and thriller tend to go hand in hand when people describe things, so I'm not too sure. But her writing is fabulous, and this is another one that I'd be really excited about reading. I would honestly be excited about all of these books, but of course I'm leaving it up to you guys. It's not up to me. I'm almost tempted to vote. I should totally vote in the top. So mine will be in the top. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I notice a lot of people, of course, are voting on one book, and that's fantastic. Feel free to vote on more than one book. If there are 3 books that are really catching your attention, list all 3. Or list all 6. It's entirely up to you. Say, I would totally be interested in reading any of those books. And I will count you a vote for each one. The one that gets the most votes is the one that's going to win. So, I'm absolutely cool with you voting on way more than one book. So please feel free to do that. But yeah, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to let this run for the week. And then I think on Friday, or no, over the weekend, I will be announcing which book it is that wins, and I think that'll be next Sunday, so definitely check that out. And again, these are for September. I'm doing this a little bit early, so you guys have time to go and pick up the book. But yeah, so anyway, again, please vote in the comments field below, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Until then, take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.